Okay, today we're gonna review exponents. And this is all stuff that you guys, have learned in the past. These are the objectives today. We're gonna do, the product rule, the quotient rule, negative exponents, zero rule, and then we're gonna raise a bunch of stuff to powers. Okay, so, let's start with the basics right here. Problem, example number 1. Do you guys remember when you are, first of all, do you remember what's the base and what's the exponent?
Base is the bigger number.
The base is the big number and the exponent is the power. So we have to know those words. So, if you're multiplying and bases are the same, do you remember the rule?
You add.
You add. What do you add?
That's
The
one
exponents.
The exponents. But what do you do with the base?
Keep them the same.
You keep them the same. Very good. A lot of people want to multiply these together. So they'll say 9 to the 6th power. No. Or they'll say 9 to the 5th power. You're going to keep these the same. And you're going to do what to these again? Add them. Good job. Now, is there another answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
243.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 multiplied 5 times is 243. These are both good answers. How about B? Bases are the same and we're multiplying, so what do? We keep the base the same and
Add the exponent.
what do you get?
8.
X to the 8. Good. How about C?
Why the 8?
How'd you get 8?
Because there's an imaginary 1 above the first one.
Very good.
There you go.
And how about the last one?
4 to
Very good. What's another name for 4 to the 5th?
1024.
Yep.
There you go.
You should be in curriculum.
Beautiful. Okay, how about quotient? Quotient is division. What does the quotient rule tell us to do? We keep the base the same if they're the same,
You subtract.
and you subtract. It's the numerator exponent minus the denominator. So we're gonna keep the 5 the same, and we're gonna subtract 3 minus 1, which is
2.
another name for that?
10 or 20.
You got that one right?
Okay, now, how about this next one? I'm gonna stretch this one out. This one says 3 times 3 times 3, and the bottom says 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and another one.
Did you get the 3s out?
Yes, these cancel out. So what's left?
3 to the 3rd?
Now, where is 3 to the 3rd? Is it in the numerator? Do you see it in the numerator or in the denominator? So you have to put a placeholder. The placeholder's 1. Another name for that is 1 over 27. Now, how can we use that rule, that subtraction rule for this one? We would keep the base the same and subtract 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Now this opens up another can of worms for us, a negative exponent. We're going to review that in a minute. Do you remember what to do with a negative exponent?
Would you put it to the bottom?
Yeah, you're going to move it. You move it, wherever it's negative, you move it. Not necessarily, it might be negative in the bottom. I don't want to say move it to the bottom, but this one, yeah, you would move to the bottom. If it's negative in the bottom, you move it to the top and make it positive. So we're going to review that in a minute. How about C? X to the 9th over X to the 5th. Beautiful. And the last one. We have M, 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 M. You could say M to the negative 1, that's a good answer. Is there another answer?
1 over n.
1 over M, you guys got it. I'm impressed. How about these ones, negative exponents? Can you help me convert them?
2 over 6.
2 over 6?
No. And 6.
1 over 6 positive 2. If it's a negative exponent, you move it. Is there another name for this? 1 over 36. Okay, B. I'm reading this as 5 times a to the negative 5th. Now, what has a negative exponent? Only this little piece right there.
So you move the 8 and the negative 5 to the bottom.
Yes. You're gonna keep this 5 here up on top. And you're only moving this part. Perfect. How about C? What are you gonna move? Yeah, now this is gonna go up. And you're gonna make it F to the 3rd. And D. This is gonna go up here, and you have 9x squared. Do we need the 1 in the denominator? No. No, you don't need it. Okay. And we have example 4.
Wow.
Okay, now we're adding some stuff.
Move the y up and combine it like terms.
Thank you. Now you're gonna start here. See this y to the negative 2? We're gonna drag it up top. This is gonna become y to the positive 2. Now, this is an okay answer, but it's not simple. How can we simplify this?
Add the y.
So what you're doing, add the y's, the exponents, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're layering properties now. Good? Okay. This next one is a little bugger, this right here. Let's talk about this for a second, off to the side here. Can you tell me, is there a difference in these two problems? Let's settle this dispute right now. What's the difference between these two problems? What do you see different?
The parentheses will make it a positive one.
Am I in the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys watch. Okay, so one has parentheses and one does not. So, this problem is saying take this whole thing, negative 6, and multiply it by negative 6.
Gives you a problem.
And it becomes a positive 36. Because we learn a negative times a negative is a positive. Now this one, and a lot of people don't see it, this really says negative 1 times 6 squared. Only the 6 is squared. There's really, think of a negative 1 in front. So this is going to be 36, and 36 times negative 1 is negative 36. Now, are these two numbers the same?
No.
No, they're different. So if there's a parenthesis, you're going to also raise that negative number to that power. Otherwise, don't do it. So for this one, where are we at here? Right there. So for this one, negative 6 to the negative 2 power, x to the 3rd, and y to the negative 1. We're going to have to move some things around. What's going to be moved and what stays?
X3 is one, x to the 3rd is the one that stays.
Is the only one that stays. What happens to the y?
It moves down.
Doesn't it turn positive?
Uh-huh. And what about this negative 6 to the negative 2?
Turns positive.
Just
Wait,
the
don't you-
Just the
negative-
exponent.
The
Don't you
exponent.
take the
Mhm.
negative out and put it.
Just the exponent. Now, can you tell me a better answer? This is okay.
36.
What kind of 36?
is negative.
It's negative. Now, if there were parentheses around, it'd be a positive. So there's your answer right there. Okay, the next one. Can you tell me what they're asking you to do here? What are they asking you to do? What sign is this? Add. You're adding. So is it the same rule? No. Adding is different. First of all, let's convert 3 to the -1. How do you convert that to a fraction? 1/3. And this would be 1/2. Now, how do you add fractions? You gotta get a common denominator. What's your common denominator between 3 and 2? 6. So you're gonna multiply this by 2, this by 2, this by 3, this by 3. And now what's the rule for adding fractions? You keep it, as long as the denominator is the same, you leave it, and then you add the numerator. So 5, 6. The answer to this C is 5, 6. And the last one, D, is a combination of multiplying and adding. So let's first convert 3 times 2 to the -3rd. How are you going to change this? What has a negative exponent? This. So 3 over 2 to the 3rd plus 7 over 4 squared. What's another name for 2 cubed and 4 squared? 8 is 2 cubed. And 16 is 4 squared. Now I need a common denominator, so what do I need to do to this fraction?
Multiply by 2.
Good job, so you guys are sounding like you remember your rules. And now what's my final answer? 13 over 16, beautiful. I want you to read this bottom. This is a college assignment. Get ready for college. Okay. Here is objective number 4, the zero exponent rule. Do you guys remember when you raise anything to the 0 power, what do you get?
0,
1. 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, what about B? What do you think B is?
1.
1?
8.
It's 8. Why is it 8, not 1?
Because 8 times 1 is 8.
Because this part is 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Good. How about this next one? This is 1, so it's -x. And what about this one? This whole thing is going to go to 1, so it's -1. Okay, 5th objective. We're going to raise a power to a power. Do you remember what you do when you raise a power to a power? Do you add these exponents?
No,
You multiply. So you keep the base the same, and you're going to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. What's another name for 3 to the 6th power? 729. Okay, next one, B. We've got a power to a power. What do we do with these two? You're going to multiply them. Now that's an okay answer, but if in the directions it says no negative exponents, how would we get rid of a negative exponent?
It's in the bottom, right?
Yep. C, 4 to the what power? What do you do with these two? -4, or
1/256.
4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is 256. Okay, how about D? Y to the what power? Or, good. Okay, next. what's different about this set is, bless you, there's more than one thing in the parenthesis. So you have to raise two things here to the third power. So what you're kind of doing,
Is distributed.
yes, very good. So you're gonna raise -4 to the third power and x to the third to the third. What's x to the third to the third? 9. Now, is there a better answer?
Negative 64, x to the negative.
Yep. B. We've got how many things in parentheses? 3. So we have to square all of them. You're gonna square all of them. So you've got 2 squared, m to the what?
To the negative 8.
Uh-huh, and n to the what?
6.
6. A better answer?
4 to the, and then you change, you put the m at the bottom, right?
Yes.
So it'd be 1
Yes.
over,
This is
No.
4.
It'd be 4n to the 6 over n8.
Yep. C, a little tricky on this one. You've got 3 things. You're gonna do 1/2 to the -2 power. What is the what is the third power to the -2 power?
-6.
Uh-huh, and that's an s to the -4. So, these two are gonna go in the denominator. This, we're gonna square it, but we're gonna flip it. So you can do that, you can flip this, so the 2 is now gonna go up on top. 2 squared, and the 1, any 1 raised to a power is just 1. So you really don't need 1 squared. So what you're doing is flipping this and raising it to the second power. So the best answer, instead of 2 squared, you're gonna write what?
where'd you get the 1 squared from? At the bottom?
Because see this, you're squaring both of these. So in other words, what you have here is 1/2 to, this is what you have. You're distributing this here and here. So you have 1 to the -2 and 2 to the -2. So now you're gonna flip them, so 2 squared goes on top and 1 squared goes on the bottom. This is just 1, and that's your 4. So you're actually distributing this too, to the 1/2. Letter D. -4 has to be squared. X to the -3 squared is what? -6, and y to the 8. So what is gonna move?
The x.
Yeah. Where's it going? And what about this? Are we gonna move that?
No, it's positive.
No, this, and now, see how this is in parentheses? You have to square both the negative and the 4. So what is -4 times -4? Uh-huh. So this is your best answer. Okay, last 4. These ones are quotients, but there's a lot of layering going on here. This is a fraction where we have 2, a numerator and a denominator, all of that is squared. So what are you gonna do with this?
You distribute to both the top and the bottom.
Yep, so it's 3 squared over x to the what?
6.
Uh-huh. Is there a better answer?
Yes.
What?
9 to 9 over x's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, letter B. You have some options here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things inside of the parentheses, and then a power. Instead of distributing this here, 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 here,
You can divide, right?
You can simplify this, you can do what's in the parentheses first. How can we simplify what's inside first? How can we simplify this first? Well, 8 goes into 16 how many times? Twice. Check out your m's. You have 3 m's on top and 1 on the bottom. How many m's do you really have? 2 on top. And what about your n's? You have 4 n's on top and 2 on the bottom. How many n's do you have?
Over one.
2 and then a 1. Everything cancels in the bottom, so there's just really a 1 there. Now, isn't it much easier now to cube 3 things instead of cubing 6 things?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was an easier route. 2 cubed is what? What is 2 cubed?
8.
8. What's m squared cubed? And n to the 6. We don't need that 1 in the denominator. Okay, C. I'm going to want to simplify this one too, inside. How can we simplify inside here?
Divide.
Divide what?
8 goes in 4 twice, and then you can cross the x's out.
So where, you said twice, do I put the 2 on top?
No, it's at the bottom.
Good. So that's 1/2. What about the x's?
They cross off, right?
They match, they cross right out. And what about the y's?
Can you flip that one, or do you not need
You're
to do
gonna,
that?
you're gonna bring this one down,
Yeah, you flip that.
and what does it become? Can you do it in your head?
Y to the 4.
Yeah, you got it. So now we're gonna square these 3. What is 1 times 1? 1. What's 2 squared?
4.
And what's y to the 4th squared?
Y to the 8.
Yep, there's your answer. Last one. Now, what's different about this one?
Exponents are different.
The exponents are different. You don't see 1 parenthesis. So this one is a little different. You have to raise all 3 of these to the -3 power. So what do you get when you do that? You get 3 to the -3rd, e to the what power? Mm-hmm. And f to the 6. Good. Now the bottom, we're going to distribute this 2 to these 2. What do you get? E to the what?
6.
F to the. Okay, now we don't want negative exponents. So what are we going to do?
You flip them and then combine by terms.
So what gets flipped?
The e to the -15 gets flipped to the bottom.
This is going to come down, and this is going to go up. What about this 3 to the -3? Mm-hmm. So can you tell me what e to the -15th and 6 is? Where are those e's at now? What do you get?
21.
Very good, 21. How about the f's? This is coming up here. How many f?
14.
Yep. Is there a better answer?
Yes.
What? I would turn
To the
this
14.
number into 27. We're done with the notes. So what you're gonna do now is this page. These 4 are just matching. See if you can pick them out. You're gonna do questions 5 to 24, and stop at 24. You don't have to do these bottom ones. Okay? After assignment, you have,
So which ones do we not have to do?
you don't have to do the last 3, just go up to 24.
Okay.